It's a microcosm of Chicago. People don't give a fuck about what's beyond 95th Street. Like, a lot of people think Chicago just ends on probably 55th, really. Not just, racial lines, but just resources in general is real. And that's why I believe it was hard for a lot of young people from Roseland and from the hundreds to even get into activism, because they don't have the resources that Hyde Park has. They're not around the U of Chicago. And so that was one thing I was grappling with BYP and other nonprofit orgs, especially those linked to the U of Chicago, is because I'm yeah, do they really give a fuck about people beyond 95th Street? And I don't know the answer to that question. That frustration around that is what kind of made me do Church on the Nine, which is it's really a glorified corner cipher. I wanted to provide a free open mic, a free platform for people on 79th Street, because I just figured I'm linked to a lot of activists, a lot of organizations, and so how do I bring those resources to these people? And so I just invite everybody on the corner to break bread, share some poetry. I'm a real get up and go person. I think a lot of organizers lose time planning. Planning is important, but sometimes you just need to trial and error some shit. And so I said, I created a Facebook event. I edit and chopped up all the videos, by the way. I did the whole graphics for the flyers, put in all my resources, and did a Facebook event, contacted different poets and artists I know, where we just, break bread and do what we do, but on the corner for our people. And people just come through. People like the cause. They like being able to give back, especially a lot of the organizers I deal with. And a lot of them are dissatisfied with organizations and nonprofits in general, because you don't have that freedom to do what the fuck you want to do. You can do some things, but then at the end of the day, you really are beholden to whoever's funding you. And so people love to be on the ground and deal with people and feel like they're actually a part of something and causing some change. And so I think Church on the Nine prevents a platform for not only art, but political involvement and engagement. One time I started, this is a discussion on Barack Obama. I told everyone in the circle, went around the circle, asked everyone their names. When I asked them, how you feel about his last 8 years of presidency? What effects have you brought from it? And it was just interesting hearing people from Chatham's opinion on the subject. And so that's what I like to do with my activism, is just, highlight unheard voices and create spaces for those who don't have that voice. And going back to drill music, I feel like it creates a space for the voiceless. And if you just listen to it, they're talking about the ills of our communities just in a totally different way. Very aggressive way, very from a perception of them being on the ground and probably initiating some of the violence that we see, and being receiving it as well.